And I know they mean business, and so I'm freaked out. I mean, it's like 5 years ago when Petraeus was head of the CIA. He did an interview with Wired Magazine and admitted, no, all new tech, from washing machines to dryers to your refrigerator to your smartwatch, will be tracked in real time. We're going to watch and listen to you. But don't worry, it's AI computers doing it. So if you're not a terrorist, it won't flag it for a human. Don't worry if it's you having sex with your wife. Don't worry what it is. We're not going to look at you with the algorithms unless you're a terrorist. Folks, they fund Al-Qaeda and ISIS. They are using all the data. They're selling it to corner markets and to be ahead of trends where only select corporations can compete. You go, well, that's fine. They'll know what we really want and give it to us. No, they know what you want and figure out how to not give it to you. It's mind control. It's future prediction technology. It's on record. We told folks about Stingray 16 years ago by name. 3 years ago, Mikhail Phelan made international news when he got the secret documents from the city there in Washington State, Seattle, where it was their own telephone towers everywhere, calling it police communications, but was really Homeland Security, grabbing everyone's info, cracking into your phone's live time, video, audio, fake transformers, fake power poles, fake light poles. They were putting those up in 1998 in Austin, Texas. A listener sent us the Federal Register where they were spending millions to put it in. It's in my film, Police State to the Takeover. What I'm getting at is we are far down this road. Far down it. And next, they're coming with forced inoculations. Next, they're coming with an economic collapse so bad, most families have to live in government-run dormitories like North Korea or Cuba. North Korea and Cuba could have food and water and jobs. Humans are incredibly organized and ingenious and hardworking. Most Cubans now live in dormitories because they won't let you fix your house or have one. They want you in a dormitory with a cot so your kids can't be kids. They're raised by the state. It's raising us like chickens. The Great Leap Forward, the Cultural Revolution, they're now going to do a high-tech version of that here. Under Cloward and Piven, under Agenda 21. All these are just plans that carry out the same domestication, the same imprisonment. You put Native Americans on reservations? Where had the British gotten that? They'd done that in Ireland. They'd done that in Scotland first. Look it up. The German concentration camp comes from the American reservation. And the American reservation comes from the British. And a lot of times we do to others what's been done to us. You know that Andrew Jackson, who put millions of Native Americans in concentration camps and killed them, you know his mother and brother both died in a British concentration camp when he was 11 and 12. Took 2 years. They had one of them first. His mom, his dad had died previously. He was in the Revolutionary War for 5 years from the age of 10 to 15. And he was in giant Indian wars where he saw whole cities destroyed. See, we lost a lot of those early wars. I'm not saying it's good what Jackson did. I'm just saying think of the time he was in. His mother and brother died in a concentration camp. He saw almost everybody he knew killed by the natives after that point. So he became their destroyer. I'm just telling you where all this stuff comes from, ladies and gentlemen. You can look it up for yourself. Hitler was fascinated with the West and with news articles reprinted from the 1860s and on that he would read for hours a day sometimes and modeled much of Nazi Germany and what he did off of what he read in serialized articles in the press, much of it twisted and fictional. Much of his Operation Barbarossa in Russia was tailored on the Indian Wars, how to round up the Russians and other Slavs and kill them. I don't mean to go off into a history lesson. I apologize. It's just all so incredibly interesting, isn't it? And we're being put into an electronic concentration camp. We're being made where we don't have our own jobs, can't produce our own food, and are totally dependent on the system, and they admit that's their plan. For heaven's sake, let's not go down this road. The average bureaucrat's not your enemy. The average cop's not your enemy. The average person working at a corporation's not your enemy. They're compartmentalized. They don't know what's going on. They're scared. They just want to have a future. You've got to let them know going along with the system destroys your future. You can go along with it halfway to survive at this point, but be building alternatives while you legally and lawfully culture jam and sabotage the New World Order. And when enough people understand this and the lights come on collectively, game over. And by the way, we're very close to that point. It's why the enemy is throwing their full power against the people right now worldwide. We're all in. These stations are all in. I'm all in. This is a war. Money and energy must be spent in a war or we'll lose everything. There's not a choice in my view. And a lot of you know that, and I want to thank you. But others are on the fence. Liberty is not a spectator sport. This is for all the marbles. There's no longer any doubt that we're being dominated and taken over. It's a natural instinct to want to resist this tyranny and say no. And I know you want to stand up. So I'm saying let's redouble our efforts together. And let's pray for God to give us guidance, to direct us in what we should do, and to ask for providence. That's not mumbo jumbo, folks. History shows it. My life, I've experienced it. Ask God for providence. Ask God to make you a leader. Ask God to help you be straight and strong and have understanding. And if you do it from a pure heart and not searching for power, God will give you those opportunities. It'll start popping up in your face every day. It's amazing. But it's got to be for the right reason with a pure heart. And you got to be ready to be persecuted. But I'm telling you, you, with a cheerful face, go up against the persecution. One door closes, 5 other doors open. It is amazing. And you'll be fulfilled within yourself. You'll never get fulfilled with Madison Avenue and Wall Street and the world. That's why the more worldly you get, the more you want, because nothing will quench your thirst like being a good human who loves God and loves God's creation and is trying to help others. Now, all I'm offering is the truth, as they say in the Matrix, nothing more. You have to understand that with discernment comes great sorrow, but it's a sweet sorrow. But I'm telling you, people have made a decision to be spiritually blind, culturally blind. They've decided to not know what's happening. It's totally in your face now. You start admitting things to yourself. You start opening your eyes up to a wider world. The universe is going to flash into view like a hidden image that was always there. Empowerment and fulfillment is waiting for you, but you've got to open the door. God comes knocking, but it's free will. You got to open the door. The world and this satanic system sneaks up, tries to take your free will, tries to deceive you. And I'll tell you the Faustian truth here. It's a lie that it's never too late to turn back. As long as you want to turn back and have that thought, it means you're not totally committed to evil. You can go so far with free will as totally committing, locking the door, throwing away the key, and deciding you want to be evil. That's the ultimate sin. Knowledge of good, knowledge of God's promise, knowledge of what you could do, knowledge of experiencing the Holy Spirit and all the understanding that comes with it. Downloading a little spark of God into your soul. You experience that, and then you reject it and say, I know who you are. I know you're real. I know it. And I choose to go this way. God doesn't damn you to hell. You make the decision to flip that switch yourself. You're the one that gets in the elevator and says, take me to the bottom instead of take me to the top. And when you get asked to go to the top, you open up on that high rise in a metaphysical way, and a big old helicopter comes right down and lands, and it's a next level. You ready to get on the helicopter? And then you get taken to a mountaintop. And it goes from there. Up, 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 in, through, and beyond. Are you ready? Can you handle it? Or do you want your God to be sports and mainstream movies and TV and all this empty crap? That question is up to you. If you're ready to be fulfilled, you're not going to find it in these establishment churches. But you're going to find it in admitting that God's real and that Jesus Christ was God in the flesh to experience what his creations were going through with a message to humanity. That's why the whole world hates real Christians and hates that message. And the Pharisees hate it because they've twisted it and it's all meant to deceive you and destroy you. I'm sorry I'm preaching. I'm going to stop right there. And when I preach, it's not on some moral high ground that I'm the perfect guy and, boy, I'm a good boy and I waited till I got married to have sex and I never smoked a marijuana cigarette and all that bull. When I get up here and tell you what I've experienced, it isn't to make me feel big, like I'm some high priest and you're lowly. You got to come to me for empowerment and enlightenment. No, you got to go to God for that. And that's what these devil churches hate. They're there to make you feel guilty and to serve them. They become the accuser. They become the deceiver. In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries in the area of health. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. DNA Force is one of the most expensive formulas to produce. Some of the ingredients in DNA Force are $12,000 a kilogram. We are using the coveted, patented, only American source of PQQ, CoQ10, and more. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? Well, we're bringing you a total win-win. The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. We have produced a limited run of DNA Force, and it will take up to 12 weeks to produce more once we sell out. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. DNA Force from InfoWars Life.